the last 2 weeks has been a roller coaster ride of emotions for me, and I don't like it.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
You don't like emotion?
Mainly what I don't like is
like roller coasters.
I ended on the low, not the high.
Oh, no.
Classic rookie mistake.
I've got two things we're going to discuss first.
Okay.
One of them is Mara Jade, so Star Wars news, and then we're
Sure.
going to move on to gaming and Fallout news.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so someone posted a picture on Twitter, and it was sort of like, I saw this in the Galaxy's Edge bathroom, and it says Mara Jade lives.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
And so, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Should have been a bit of a...
Okay,
Like
yeah.
scrawled on the wall of the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's sort of like hitting, oh, maybe she's becoming canon again. I'm going, oh, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking more about it, how it wouldn't be my Mara Jade.
No, of
Well,
course
no,
not.
it definitely wouldn't now.
Yeah. And so
'Cause
that made me sad.
Spoilers, Luke Skywalker is dead.
And old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he didn't have a bit of a love affair.
True. Oh, so you think we might be getting like a prequel to the sequels or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's going to play him though? I mean, honestly,
Mark Hamill will do
I'll
it. He's up for it.
Sebastian Stan can play him.
Yeah,
But
right.
then it came out that it's not true.
Oh, really? So that was just
Yeah.
some punter who had
Just
brought a
someone,
Sharpie in?
because they actually, one of the execs went, look, if we had have done this and it was meant to be graffiti in a bathroom, it would look like graffiti in a bathroom. This looks like decals stuck on a wall.
Right. Yeah, it
This
does. I
is
saw.
too good for them.
Well, then I also start thinking, like, it's a bit weird. If you're going to reintroduce her to the Star Wars universe,
To
maybe
put
it
on
has
the
to be
wall
a
of
bit of a
toilet.
whore.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
so-
get it that you might introduce characters from Legend into canon through events at Galaxy's Edge. That
Yeah,
makes
sure.
perfect sense, actually.
But
Not by writing fucking for a good time call Mara Jade up on the wall of the Dunnies.
Yeah.
So there was that. And
Remember
then,
when? Sorry, I was going to just quickly say. Remember what?
Yep.
There was a sort of a precedent. Remember when Nine Inch Nails were leaving fucking thumb drives in the toilets
Yes.
at the concerts?
That's right.
to
Yeah.
secretly sizzle up. What was that album? Anyway, Year Zero. Yeah. So
yeah, but look, it's a good, like, it does make sense.
Hey,
but
man,
then,
with teeth, they kidnapped people and took them out into the desert.
yeah. Oh yeah, that was for the album. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's happened next is Amazon in Germany advertised a game called Fallout Legacy.
Yes.
So
Yep,
it wasn't a
absolutely.
standalone game. It was going to be like Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 4, like everything. And on the blurb it said you'll be able to load up and play mods for PC and consoles. So internet buzz, maybe they're releasing like the huge package of all the games that's coming to consoles. I'm excited. I'd love to be able to play Fallout 1 and 2 and get achievements. But then...
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, but
They were
but
just
not
like,
for
look,
you.
somebody's just written this up on a bathroom wall. It doesn't make it real.
Well, they have come out and announced that, yes, it is real. It's only coming to PC, though, and only in the UK and Germany, which, I don't know, it just seems very odd.
Can they not get, like, GOG or something like that? Because, I mean, I've got the first three on GOG right
You
now.
can buy them all on Steam, good old, like, they're all available. And
Yeah, but
that's why it's sort of a weird package to even sell at all.
But how would they I honestly can't see any universe where you're going to be able to play through Fallout 1 for achievements.
Let me
Like, that just seems-
live in my dream world.
It just
You can
seems
play-
like so much work for someone when...
Yeah. You can play Wasteland 2 and other games of that type on the Xbox.
And I have
but someone's got to do it. That's the thing.
But yeah, it's just, I don't understand why they're sort of, like, why it's UK and Germany only. Like, that sort of seems weird to me, but why they're actually releasing this anyway. Like, most people have picked out Fallout 1 and 2 and Tactics for free because they give them away every second week.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
so the only
They
good
must think
thing
there's
is...
a market for some reason. Were they not out in those countries at some point or something?
No, they're all out. The date they're coming out is a bit of a kick in the guts to Obsidian, though.
Oh,
Because
sure.
it's coming out the same day as The Outer Worlds comes out, 25th of October.
But I don't think anyone's going to be like, I was going to buy the Outer Worlds, but I guess I'll just
But now
buy
I'm going
Fallout
to play through
Legacy
Fallout
Collection.
Tactics again.
Well, I don't.
right.
I really don't know anyone that would buy this at all.
Yeah.
Other than you.
Well, if it was on console,
I could
yes.
ask people in Germany. Excuse me, would you buy a collection of all the Fallout games? They're fucking gagging for it.
Yeah.
The only thing that might be good about it is Fallout 3, if they might give that a little bit of support and might make it able to run on newer PCs. Because remember, I played Fallout 3 a few months ago because I brought it on Steam.
It doesn't run?
It's very buggy.
Huh.
Like, every time, while I was out in the open world, it was fine. But when I was indoors, it'd play for about 5 minutes and just crash.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's been a bit buggy. And so there might be some support for that, which would be good, but... Yeah, I don't know. Bethesda, you've made me sad. I'm going to talk to Bethesda about this next week.
Okay. Wow.
They're going to be at PAX, so
Oh, sure.
I'll point out that they've made me sad.
Traditionally, a roller coaster does end low. You know, it starts up high and then it's all downhill from there. That's kind of what a roller coaster is.
Yeah,
but I can see that you've had quite a bit of emotions this week. Before we move on, speaking of just like kind of collections of old games, sort of, did either of you play the Duke Nukem 3D World Tour when it came out a couple of years back?
No.
I didn't, but I know what it is. I mean, I don't think any.
Yeah.
Did a lot of people play that? Oh, presumably.
Oh, I didn't, and Duke Nukem 3D was one of my fucking favourite games back in the day.
I just can't go back and play them, though. They just...
I mean, it's the nostalgia for people like us. So if we didn't play it, fucking I do not know who did. But
it's one of those ones that if you do go back and play it, you sort of play the first couple of levels and go, yeah, I remember this, and then you never play it again.
Yeah, because you remember the first couple verbatim, and then you slowly taper off what you know.
Yep.
From memory by then. There is a new chapter in it, though, which I might be interested in, but not interested enough to buy it, obviously. But the composer, Bobby Prince, who wrote the original Duke Nukem 3D soundtrack, is now suing Gearbox because he is claiming that he didn't write the music for Duke Nukem 3D back in 1996 when it came out. He's claiming that they licensed original music from him, and therefore when they sold the rights of the game to Gearbox for the World Tour Edition, they did not relicense his music.
Right, so he's supposed to get, I think, $1 for every copy sold.
Well, that was his deal with
Apogee, right? Oh,
yeah,
right.
with
So
Apogee.
they literally just don't have the rights.
They don't have a deal with him.
Yeah, right.
And that's one thing that, video games really struggle with rights to the music. Because remember, even a little while ago, Alan Wake, they had to take that off because the music, they lost license for the music. And
I
that
think
game...
Well, actually...
They just don't think about it, I think, is the problem.
No.
Like, it's not something that's considered as heavily... like film music, I guess, is... they're very careful about it. Whereas games seem to be a little bit loose.
I think
I think there was also a time where you didn't used to re-release games because games hadn't been around long enough to re-release them. So there just wasn't... Because TV had that when DVD came out, is that a lot of the original music they couldn't license for DVD. So if you bought like Buffy, there's quite a lot of episodes of Buffy that have... If they have the score, but if they had a pop song in them when you watch it on TV, chances are it'll be a different song now.
Huh.
Because they couldn't get the licensing rights to that original track.
That's really interesting, yeah.
Well, actually, speaking of Gearbox and Randy and getting sued, remember he had that lawsuit with his lawyer, his old lawyer?
Yeah.
The one that was basically calling him out, sort of saying, oh, he has these parties and there's young girls and all this stuff. Basically, that got thrown out of court.
I think it was young boys, not that it matters, but it was just because it's a little bit more of a dig.
It got thrown out of court. And, like, with prejudice, like, you cannot bring this back.
I thought they agreed to disagree and then walked away.
No, the judge still ruled on it.
You've been molesting little kids. Oh, I'm afraid we're going to have to agree to disagree. Oh, he's got you there, Your Honour.
The article I read said that they both just settled. Is that not the case?
Oh, well, the judge made
Maybe
a
that was
ruling
Randy's
on it.
publicist.
The judge made a ruling on it and basically said, like, they have come to an agreement now. But, yeah, like, he said, like, he's dismissing the case with prejudice.
But hold on.
So.
You can't sue someone for a crime unless you're the victim of the crime and you're suing for damages.
Well, he was suing.
the state can prosecute you for a crime, Did I just say prostitute? I meant prostitute.
No, so what was happening was
Sure you
he
did.
wasn't the lawyer was basically just coming out with all this stuff while he was suing him for something else.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's
yes.
right.
It's like he sacked him, but also guess what? He has parties with little boys.
Right. I think he was suing him for legal for back pay or something.
Well, actually,
right?
I think
Or
it started off with them suing their ex-lawyer.
Okay.
Something about him, he
fucking-
borrowed $300,000 from the company to buy his house, but never paid it back, and
Oh yeah, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, but Randy stole $2 million."
and it just became sort of a
Yeah.
mudslinging match.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I don't know what to think anymore. I like Randy Pitchford. At least I think I do. But then all this stuff's coming out. I'm like, maybe I don't like Randy Pitchford. But he's been lovely every time I've met him. But of course, why the fuck?
Well, one of
wouldn't
the
he be
things
nice?
that he did
You know
come
what I
out and do.
Yeah, because you're a beautiful little boy, Matt.
Well,
That's right.
no, I'm pretty because one of the things he did lose that USB, and that had, and
Yes.
one of the things was that there was a barely 18 girl cam
didn't
girl
deny
on
it.
there, and he
Yeah, he
didn't deny it,
it.
and just he wanted to study her squirting.
Yeah, because he's into
Yeah.
magic, and he was like, "Well, that's not real," and he wanted to figure out
Yeah.
how she did it. That's
Yeah.
what he said.
Okay.
And
Just
I mean,
own it,
well, he
man.
did.
Just own it.
Well-
Just be like,
well,
yeah, I was jerking off. Just jerking off to that. Don't
that
make
might
up
be
a
true.
fucking weird excuse.
Sure. That
Well,
might
no,
be true.
he
I mean,
says-
he hangs out with Penn and Teller. He does
does,
magic every
yeah.
time we see him at an event.
Yeah, but
Like,
I've
he
never
just-
heard Penn nor Teller, or especially Penn, because Teller doesn't say much. Just be
No,
like,
he does in
yeah,
his,
like
he does in his masterclass.
part of
That's
our magic is that oh, really?
Yeah, that's a fucking dispecting aspect of their masterclass
Oh,
that I didn't
wow.
expect. Is that Teller does most of the talking because he's
Jesus.
the brains.
And they're talking about squirting.
Yeah, that's right. And it is.
They're just like, we can't figure
it is
it out.
fucking graphic. It is graphic. I learned a lot.
I don't know what
About
I'm just
myself.
imagining that episode of The Simpsons. It's one of my favorite episodes where Homer is telling the story of how Maggie was born to the family.
Yeah.
And he's narrating it, but then you see it animated like a regular show. And at one point, Homer and Marge are having sex, and you see all these sperms going towards the ova, and it cuts back to the living room, and Homer's literally acting out the sperm.
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
Yeah, but with Teller.
That's right. And his I don't know what his accent is, like a New Yorkie
Fucking who
kind
knows?
of accent.
Who the fuck knows? All I know is that when I saw Penn in the flesh for the first time, I thought he was going to die because he lost a lot of weight.
Oh, sure.
Turned out he was just dieting.
He was just eating potatoes exclusively.
Is that a thing?
Apparently, that's how he lost weight. He went on this thing called a potato diet, where you stop eating everything except potatoes for some period of time, and then once you've done that, everything else is fucking delicious, and you can just eat healthy food and enjoy it. And you don't need chocolate
What?
because
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Fucking, even anything that's not a potato is delicious.
After a month of eating potato, a fucking carrot is the best thing in the universe, and so it like reset his.
Okay, not completely crazy
diet.
then. That makes a little bit of sense.
No, sounded it.
Look, I mean, it's true. I mean, even when you do something like the Whole30 diet, I mean, when you come off it, like, you don't want to eat cake. You're just like, I just have some celery.
I mean, I have fallen off that wagon, but
Oh yeah,
It doesn't take long
last.
to go
it
back.
Does not last.
no, it
Certainly
does
doesn't. No. Yeah, getting on a wagon, quite difficult. Getting off it again, not so much.
not quite as difficult. We've got a couple of pieces of follow up.
Yeah,
one of which is listener submitted. Nate wrote in to let us know. We were talking about the Last Starfighter, or Luke expressed interest in a remake of The Last Starfighter. Well, as usual, Hollywood is just, I'm going to say, one step slightly behind us. Because that seems to be how
that's
it works.
right. Or at least listening. And
Yeah, and as soon as they heard the episode, they went out and they started work on this last.
I think it's a
Starfighter
good
remake
idea.
that's going on.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I
power to
assume
them.
that's why they've done it.
Yep.
Because you thought it was a good idea. So
I also, when we were talking about that last week, I mentioned that I always thought that Explorers was the kind of poorer cousin of The Last Starfighter. But it's obviously been a long time since I've seen that, because I've looked it up now. It's directed by Joe Dante, who's one of my favorite directors from the 80s. It stars River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke. I really think I need to revisit this because it's shaping up to be a pretty decent movie. So, going to give it another look.
Also, we're doing that thing again that we do where we don't acknowledge that things like it wasn't last week; it was the week before because we didn't do an episode last week, and I mean, obviously, we've moved past that, but the listeners
I would like to apologise for that.
Yeah, where the fuck were you?
It was simply a scheduling
thank you, Luke. I would like
Matt
you to
was talking to me while we were preparing to record, and I fell asleep.
I'm talking, and then he's just not replying, and I'm like, wow, this is just not funny, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
swing and a miss.
Luke, and then he goes, what? like, did you literally just fall asleep?
Yeah. I was tired.
Nothing dramatic. Couldn't do it. But we're back.
The wicked case of sleep.
Yeah, wicked case
we're back
of tired.
Next week. We'll be here next week as well. I just have to hope I've got Wi-Fi at the hotel.
Yep. Oh, that's right. You're
yes.
you're going to be in is it Melbourne or Sydney?
Melbourne. Yep.
We've got some other follow-up. This is Elon Musk news.
Yeah. Do we have a jingle for Elon Musk news?
I don't think.
Do we have a jingle for Elon Musk calling a guy a pedo news? I feel this comes up enough that it probably
I know,
wouldn't.
it keeps popping up. I fucking this is the article or the story that keeps on giving because this just gets weirder and weirder. So, I mean, the reason that it was originally put in here was because this is ongoing. The guy's suing Elon Musk for defamation.
Yeah, and I'm sort of like, because he was going to leave it alone the first time, but he decided to go ahead with it when Musk doubled down on it and basically said, like, if it wasn't true, he'd be suing me now.
Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, there's that incident with the kid stuck in a cave in Thailand. Elon Musk showed up with a submarine, and then
that he built himself.
that he built to rescue the kids. And then this guy who was like a professional cave diver said, "That's dumb. I'm just going to go in, like as a diver and rescue the kids." And Elon Musk said, "Well, that's because you're a pedophile."
And, the only reason you're going into a dark cave with a bunch of little boys is because you're going to fuck them.
And the guy was like, well, that was unnecessary.
Yep.
And left it alone, as Luke said. And then someone else said, why'd you call him a pedophile? And Elon Musk said, no smoke with his fire. He hasn't denied it. And
with this dive, it's just gone like...
him. And Elon Musk's defense is, well, I didn't know he wasn't a pedophile.
Yeah, and actually his defense is still... If I believed him to be a pedophile at the time that I called him out on it, it doesn't count as defamation. So
that's right.
I don't know if that's the law, but I know that he has now spent $50,000 getting a private investigator to dig into the guy's personal life to find evidence that maybe he was some kind of pedophile.
But it gets weirder.
So that there can be some reasonable doubt.
It gets weirder. It's come out this week that the investigator, the private investigator, is this British guy who is a convicted con artist. He's like a convicted felon in the US, in the UK. And he contacted Elon Musk, and that's how this whole thing may have started. Is this guy in the UK contacted Elon Musk and said, that guy's a pedo, and I can get you some evidence. And so Elon Musk was
so
like...
So the evidence that he got him was that he told him that he had actually, because he's a British expat living in Thailand, and he has a Thai wife.
Oh, there you go.
And he said, she was underage when they first hooked up. And so Elon was like, fucking, I am in the clear because I don't even have to be talking about the fact that he's going to molest a bunch of little boys trapped in a cave. I can claim that actually I knew he was a pedo, and I was actually talking about his underage wife. And then his wife came out and said, actually, I was 33 when we met. So,
but I mean, Elon Musk's defense is that he didn't know that. He thought the guy was legit. He thought the guy was a pedo. So we'll see how that holds up in court.
To be
yeah, I don't think it does.
I mean, there's something to the argument that I thought he was, and so I said that he was. It's not a crime unless I was intentionally lying about it. I mean, that might be true.
Maybe.
Yeah? No?
I don't think that's how it works, though.
I mean, look, I mean, I'm not sure where freedom of speech crosses over into defamation anyway, because you know, you either say what you want or you're not allowed to say what you want. But if I just go out publicly and I just say, look, Matt, you're a pedophile, and the only evidence I need is that I really do believe that you are.
You've just done that. You've just done that, Dan.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're a private investigator or convicted con artist, write in and help me gather evidence on my friend Matt.
Podcast at multiplenerdgasm.com. We've all seen a film this week.
Yes.
And I want to talk about
have.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it now.
Do you want to do that now?
Sure we
Can we do that now? Or is it?
I think we
So
should.
no spoilers because it only came
right.
out this week.
So we're not going to spoil
We're talking
it.
about the Joker.
I'm curious what you all thought of it.
I'm very curious what
It's
you guys
a bit
thought of it.
arty.
It is. Yeah, it very much is. Yeah.
It's like, you know, everyone always jokes about how DC movies are like really dark and grim. And it's like Todd Phillips was like, hold my fucking beer.
Yeah, you've seen fucking nothing. Yeah.
Oh, you think that was dark? Check this shit out.
So
Yeah. Oh, you hate the joke? He's the bad guy, is he? Yeah, well, maybe he's just fucking mentally ill and he knows it. And maybe he was crying out for fucking help and you didn't help him. How do you feel now, cinema going public?
Man, I knew that it was going to be dark, but fucking hell.
I know. This shocked even me. I'll come out and I'll just say I loved it. I loved every frame of this movie.
I knew you were going to love it.
I did.
And I knew Matt was going to love it.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved the fact that a bunch of people got up and left during it while I was watching it.
Yeah. I love the fact that there was only about 3 people in the entire cinema when I went to see this.
There was a woman afterwards, or a younger girl afterwards behind us, and she said, this is a literal quote, "I am a good Christian girl, and that disturbed the shit out of me."
Wow. Okay.
Actual quote.
This
a great quote. They
To
should
me-
put that on the poster.
I don't think this wasn't a comic book movie to me.
Well, actually, I thought they added just the right amount of intertextual references because I was actually concerned that this was going to have literally nothing to do with the DC universe. And in which case, I would argue, don't make it about the Joker then. Just write a movie about a serial killer and make something up. Like, if you're not going to mention Batman, why is it the Joker? But I thought they had just the right amount of originality coupled with just the right amount of
I feel that you could get rid
comics.
of anything Wayne related and that, and it's still just not be Joker. I think that could just be a movie on its own without like DC.
Yeah, right. It could have, but I...
Yeah, but I guess, look, there's a lot of fans out there that were like, look, what if before Bruce Wayne had become Batman, the Joker had once stuck his fingers into his mouth?
Yes. I love... I mean, this is not a spoiler. This is a film where at the end of it, you don't really know what really happened.
Yeah.
Like,
This
it's
is
very
the first
ambiguous.
of their completely standalone movies, isn't it? They've got a few more of these coming out.
Right. So, yeah, this is not... As far as I'm aware, this is not going to lead into anything else. There's not... Like, Joaquin Phoenix is not coming back for other
You're not going to see
films as the
Justice
Joker. This
League
was just a
fighting
thing.
him
Well,
next year or anything.
Exactly. I just pronounced his name
God.
correctly. Can we just briefly... This is a segue.
Oh,
just
sure.
Because I've
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
it, right? I know that his name is Joaquin, and I know that it's pronounced that way. But because when I think probably Gladiator was the first film I was familiar with him from. And I did not know that was how his name was pronounced back then. And for a very long time, I called him Joaquin. And I still do that in my head, and I have to catch myself. And I almost did it just then. And when even literally reading articles about it, I'm like, Joaquin Phoenix, that's not his name, it's Joaquin. All right. Like,
Well, I mean, it's a name that gets pronounced differently depending on what country you're in anyway. So
okay.
I think you can be forgiven. I mean, we also have a friend who has that name who pronounces it a third way.
Really? There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
You know Joey? You know Joey.
Of course. Yeah. I was
But he
forgetting.
pronounces it Joaquin.
And I just say Joey.
Yeah, I think that's why we all say Joey, to be fair.
I wouldn't
would.
call Joaquin Phoenix Joey. I don't think he'd like that.
Yeah, but I'd say it like,
I'm
I'm
just
a
going
kangaroo
to
and
go,
you're
look,
my
I'm never
Joey."
going to get your name right, so you're now Joey.
And he'd be like,
But this-
right
this-
on, dude.
This film was very controversial recently. Well, I think maybe I mean, it may have been manufactured somewhat because they certainly sold tickets based on the idea that this film was going to cause people to start murdering each other.
I didn't hear that.
Well, here anyway.
I got a couple of problems with this, so yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so here in the US in particular, there's been a big fuss about the film because, if you recall, in Aurora, Colorado, there was a shooting during a screening.
Yeah, I think it was the last Batman
Dark
one.
Knight
Yeah,
Rises.
It was Dark Knight Rises. So just no. Well, hold on. Just chucking this out there. At least 2 Batman movies ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, but I think just because this is the Joker. It's dark. He's like he's mentally ill. It's going to encourage people to copycat or whatever. So there's been a big fuss here about it, and then they had like police at the midnight screenings and stuff. And look, thank goodness nothing's happened. It's been fine. So, as far as I know, unless something's changed overnight, but.
America finally has a day where nobody gets shot.
Oh, I don't. That's not what I'm
were
saying.
murdered last night.
I'm saying at a screening of the Joker that I'm aware of, none of them were watching the Joker at the time. But I suspect that there was a little bit of marketing going on there as well, because I think they probably sold a bunch of tickets because no one likes. No one wants to miss out on the latest dangerous film. You know what I mean? Like, this is a risky kind of cool thing. I'm going to go see it. So
absolutely, and not only that, but I saw an American news article linked online where they were talking about how this may lead to copycat killings, and the segment ended with the anchor saying, "Well, I'm certainly going to think twice before I let my kids watch this." And it's like, well, you don't have to. It's rated R. Your kids will not be let in.
Yeah, they should not be watching
this.
It's
a fucking adult film. So, why are we even talking about this? If adults want to watch a violent movie, adults should be able to watch a violent fucking movie.
Yeah,
right.
There's a reation why it's got the R.
You're all dead. You're all fucking dead.
To me, there was a lot of
right.
nothing that happened in the movie.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of character building. That's true.
I call that nothing. Where there's just music and you got to just watch the screen in silence for a bit.
There was some dancing.
It's
there was some
Joaquin
dancing.
Phoenix being fucking weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a mesmerizing kind of way.
I love that Joaquin has become... It's like he wants to be weird in movies and possibly in real life, right? And he keeps finding... I mean, his first breakout role arguably was a fucking Roman emperor who wanted to fuck his sister, and he was like, not weird enough.
Yes.
So he's like, well, I'm fucking growing in my beard and I'm literally going to go and let him in and pretend I'm insane. Not weird enough.
And
so
he's kind of odd looking as well. So it's not like he's never going to be like a heartthrobby kind of actor. So he's
he's got to rely on talent.
Weird actor.
Yeah, that's right. Hui turned to me the moment this film ended and just said, has he done any romantic comedies or anything?
I don't think
he has. Yeah, I think Gladiator's the closest to that.
I read an article.
I'll go as far as saying I think he's the greatest living actor. He's
fantastic
on another fucking planet.
I read an article last night. Apparently, there was a bit of tension between him and Robert De Niro because Robert De Niro came in and he was like, "All right, so we're going to do a table read and get into this," and Joaquin was like, "No, I don't do that." And, and De Niro was like, "What the fuck do you mean you don't read it?" And he's like, "I will read the script on the day, and I will react as the Joker reacts to what's going on.
And I will only do it once, so you better get your lines right.
You better be filming." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then De Niro, apparently there was like a lot of tension about it because De Niro was like, "This is fucking horse shit. You're an actor. Read the fucking script." And he was like, "I will not read the script."
No, yeah. He was like, I'm not going to take fucking acting advice from, what was your name again?
I have to ask, did he send anyone some black rats or anything? Because he's crazy.
I don't think he did. Well, this happened just the other night. He was on Jimmy Kimmel's show, and I saw this clip, and just because of we've talked in the past. He went on the Letterman, was it, where he pretended to be crazy, and that he's done some odd stuff. Joaquin, So he's on Kimmel, and it's fine. Like, he's an awkward guy, I think, and so it's not like the best interview ever. But I thought it was interesting because I think he's an interesting guy, but he's a bit awkward. And then Kimmel says to him, "We've got a clip that they've sent us that we're going to play now, and we'll just get your reaction from it. And he's like, oh, sure, whatever. So they play this clip, and it's outtakes from Joker of him half in the makeup, I guess trying to like psych himself up. And he's just, it's been cut down because it's obviously quite long, but it's just him sat there going, fuck you, Larry. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I know you started that fucking joke about Cher, and I'm fucking sick of it. I'm fuck you. Fuck this. I can't fucking do this. This is horse shit. And then like gets up and leaves. It's like a bunch of cuts of him just being weird.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to the studio, and he's sitting there with this look on his face like what? And then he goes, they sent you that? And then Kimmel's like, yeah, it's like starting to try to make jokes about it. And Joaquin's like, I'm sorry, I was not expecting that. And this is really embarrassing. Like that I did not think
because it was sort of weird. It's not like that famous rant that other Batman do. Christian Bale. It wasn't like yelling at someone. It was sort of like,
well, because Kimmel's like, who's Larry? And Joaquin's like, well, Larry's the cinematographer, but that's not the point. Like, and they're like, oh, so it's Larry's fault. He's like, no, it's not Larry's fault. It just films can get intense. Can we talk about something else? And then it gets really awkward. But I don't know if it's real or not because, like, he might have been in on it.
Because Kimmel's a prankster anyway. You know what I mean? And like, he sets up shit on his show, so it could be. But then at the same time, I mean, I'm just watching this now, and I mean, if Joaquin did not know that this was going to be like seen by the public, and this was just him trying to psych himself into the character of a madman,
it's a weird
like
thing
I
for
can
the
understand why you would be
director
embarrassed.
Because I think he said the director like sent it in, like play this on the show. It's a weird thing to show to try and promote the movie.
Unless that's what I'm saying though. Except now everyone's talking about it. So like if either Joaquin was in on it, whether he was in on it or not, it's been pretty good promotion because we're talking about it.
Look, there's two pieces of evidence that I bring up.
The medium that everyone wants to get into is fucking multiple nerdgasm.
That's right. So let's have it out here. I'll present two pieces of evidence why I think it's probably fake. Number one, he's done it before. He's done it on Letterman, and it turned out to just be a publicity stunt for a film where he pretends to be crazy. So there's that. So it's already a little bit of
that's
shade
why I was
cast on
at
it.
first suspicious.
Yeah. Number two, there's a scene in this film, Joker, where he is on a talk show and goes off script and embarrasses the guests and the hosts. So I think, that's Exhibit B.
I do think that this movie does need a bit of help promotion-wise because not doing well. No.
Really? Isn't it?
Like, it hasn't even cracked 100 million yet.
Huh.
55.
How much did it cost? Okay.
It's definitely not going to be like $1 billion, but it's
I suppose you got publicity costs as well.
Look, that's included. I think it was about $30,000 $30 million on screen, and then the rest in promotion and distribution,
that's all right then.
Which is actually still really, really cheap for a Hollywood movie, especially a superhero movie, arguably, if this is one. But
well, I mean, this is not Avengers Endgame, right? No, people aren't going to be kids aren't lining up to see this. Well, they shouldn't be anyway.
Can I just say though, I don't know how you guys feel about his performance, but I found he played this with such truth that today I watched the clip of Heath Ledger as the Joker, and it seemed fucking ridiculously over the top. I'm like, why is he putting on a funny voice?
And even like Joaquin's laugh is like bizarre and over the top in this, but then it just works.
Yeah.
There's that scene where, this is not really a spoiler, that scene where he's watching the stand-up comedian and he's laughing at the not jokes.
Yeah.
That scene was fucking great.
I love that. And what I loved about that scene, I don't know why this creeped me out so much. He's taking notes.
Yes.
And one of his notes was, always be making funny comments.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck?
And then everyone laughs, and then the comedian says something that's not funny, and he's laughing.
Like, I'm happy I saw it,
so
but
good.
This won't be a movie I will sit down and watch again.
I might, because
I might. I wondered whether you'd like it, Luke, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
I did
actually,
too.
Matt, I thought you could have been 50-50 here. You could have walked in here and
I
been
knew,
like,
Dan, I knew
fuck
you were going to
that.
love it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm very glad you enjoyed it. Mate, this movie was made for me, honestly.
I did. I can't really talk about it without spoilers, I guess. There was only one aspect of it that I was kind of like a little underwhelmed by.
Okay,
it would be a spoiler.
Well, let's talk about that next week once we give the listeners a chance to see it. There was one thing in the film that I didn't like, and then I thought...
I think I know the
then
bit
they
you're
corrected
thinking
it,
about.
and I thought, okay, that's interesting.
I might know what that is. Yeah.
And there is one other thing I think they could have done without, but it doesn't really bother me.
And also, in hindsight, the thing that I was like about, I completely understand, and I'm wrong.
Tune in next week to get what we're talking about for the spoiler part.
That's right. Do we need to play the midget watch jingle before we talk about Joker?
We may have to next week.
Let's keep that on file just in case.
It's not a spoiler, but there's one scene I was fucking laughing out loud. I couldn't help it. But like awkward laughter.
It's all awkward laughter.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
There's a couple of them.
So I watched another comic book movie.
Oh, sure.
Recently. If you're wondering what I thought of it, you can probably tell from the title I've given it in the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't see this, and I have literally no desire to go and see it. Even with Luke's lukewarm review that he gave it when he saw it.
I think this is probably the hardest. I think it's had a hard part because we're talking about Spider-Man: Far From Home. I think this has been a hard one for it to do because it's the first Marvel movie after they've ended that big story arc.
I get it.
So it's always going to struggle a bit there.
So
I wasn't looking for... I enjoyed it, but then also I'm watching it going, what's the point of it?
I enjoyed it, but I just felt like it tried to do too much. Like, there was... Like, the story in it was baffling to me. Like, the whole point of Spider-Man, I thought, was that he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and they even call him that. Like, they make callback to that. And so it's, I don't know, he solves smaller scale issues in New York, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of his thing. But then in this film, they have him in Europe, like basically globetrotting, solving fucking world-ending level events, and no other superheroes show up because it's a Spider-Man movie. And I couldn't stop thinking about that. And then also the whole spoilers for Endgame and whatnot. He's like, they're trying to make him the new Iron Man. And that was really forced to me as well. Like there was the particular scene where, like where he and Happy are in the plane, and it was just really on the nose to me. Like,
yeah, because he's sort of like at the computer, sort of, and being very much like Tony Stark, like in the computer, doing things quickly, very focused
Tony
on his
Stark
work.
Made all that shit. Like, and then Happy's looking at him like, oh, it's just like Tony's back. No, it's not, because Tony made the fucking machine that he's using. Like, he's just using it. Like, I don't know.
I think it was just weird. What I felt weird about this was there was no direction I felt with the movie.
Yeah, it felt very all over the place.
But we are going to get to see a third one.
Oh, yes. They solved
because they solved that. And I still... So... And evidently, what's the guy who plays Spider-Man's name again? Tom Holland. Yep. So people were upset with him when they originally announced that they weren't going to be combined anymore, and he wasn't saying anything about it. Because did you remember
none
this?
of his business.
Yeah, and because he doesn't
nothing to do with
fired.
Yeah, and he can't exactly go, oh, Sony's stupid for doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
So people were very upset. But then
my boss, he's a dickhead.
Yeah. But in the background, it does sound like he was trying to get it back together and on track. Because I don't know how you'd make a third one without it being...
It's certainly in his best interest to want to keep doing them.
Well,
and from the sounds of it, I mean, I don't know the intricacies of this deal, but it sounds like both Marvel Studios and Sony are going to be able to make Spider-Man movies. So Sony can make standalone ones and Marvel can put him into the MCU.
Yep.
Oh,
So
right.
everyone's just going to be making a ton of cash now, which is
Bob
fine.
Iger was
Because
on,
you know what? I'm out. I'm done with Marvel.
I think after Spider-Man Far From Good, which is what I'm...
I think you'll be back once I bring out Thor.
Don't know, man, because
We'll see.
the last couple haven't been any good.
What? The last Thor was amazing.
No, not the last couple of Thors. All the Thors have been good. I'll give you that. But like the last couple of Marvel movies have been pretty shit.
And that's what I think we're just in a crossover point where it's going to be quite difficult.
Yeah. Like if all you're trying to sell me now is fucking more Spider-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, fucking Captain Marvel, which was garbage, and the next one you want me to get psyched about is the Black Widow movie. Like, I've seen 7 Black Widow movies already, and she was the least interesting part of all of them.
Oh, Black Widow is just, I don't know, it's the stupidest movie for them to make now. And I think it's a bad move for them.
It is odd. Do people like Black Widow?
They're smart people.
Much?
They must. They must, and they must also be pretty confident that people our age have stopped watching Marvel and that people Tom Holland's age have started watching Marvel and they want to see him as the Iron Man character. So, power to him, but I'm out.
It's too late to have a Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I think so. But
yeah, I think if we're going to have one that needed to be 5 years ago. If they do one now that's set in the past, I think they're sort of making it harder for themselves to really progress and move into the next phase.
I never understood why she was there. She doesn't do any. She doesn't have any powers. She's just there for fucking Hulk to look at.
Yeah. Well, they tried to give her more to do. Like, I don't know, her introduction in Iron Man 2.
Forced,
if you haven't seen it in a while, fucking hell, it's bizarre. She's basically just there for people to ogle at in Iron Man 2. And I mean characters to ogle at, not even the audience.
Not even you.
Right, it's just weird the way that she's introduced. And then, and then, I don't know. Just not that interesting a character, I don't think.
No, not in any way interesting. And she was an afterthought character for starters, and now they're trying to pretend like, no, we can write good roles for women, so we want to definitely... No, we'd always planned to do a standalone movie of her. Here you go. It was you guys that didn't want it. The world wasn't ready for it. No, we just thought she was boring.
Just one other thing about Far From Home that I hope we can move on from, because Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. Everybody knows that, right? He's fucking great in it. He's great in everything, I think. Yeah. I don't think I've seen anything he's good bad in. He's been in bad movies, but he's been good in them because he's a good actor.
You're going out on a limb and saying that he was really good as Prince of Persia?
I haven't seen it, but he probably was. I mean, it's Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah. Played it like Donnie Darko. It was fucking emo Prince of Persia.
That's right. He's good in, what's that? Oh, I don't know what the name of it was. That one, the Netflix one about the fucking paintings. He was fucking tops in that.
Oh, I did not see that.
That's a good movie, man. You should watch it.
Is it?
I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it was good.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
All right. Luke, have you seen that?
No, I have not.
The name of it. But his character is basically the same character we've seen in 50 million other Marvel movies, a disgruntled Stark Industries employee. Can we move on from that, please?
Yeah.
So now Spider-Man's just dealing with fucking Iron Man's bad guys as well. Come on.
It's just former employees.
Yeah.
Was there a blue sky beam in this movie?
A blue
Because that's something I could do
beam.
without. Yeah, in the end of every fucking Marvel movie, there's something that projects a big blue fucking light beam into the sky.
Oh, no, there wasn't any of that in this.
Okay, good.
I don't think.
Good.
Is that a thing?
There was, yeah, man, sky beam. There's a sky beam in every movie now.
It's just to show that the world's about to blow up, sort of.
Yeah, that something's coming from outer space, or that there's some kind of power source that's way too powerful.
Yeah, so the sky's lit up.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Joker. No sky beams, no disgruntled fucking... Oh, no, I suppose there was... You know what? There was a disgruntled former Wayne Enterprises employee.
Yeah,
there was.
Good point.
So...
Yeah. I'll tell you who else has done with Marvel movies and never started with them.
Yeah.
Is someone who may have heavily influenced the Joker film. And that's Martin Scorsese. Yeah.
The script is literally an amalgam of 3 Scorsese movies: Taxi Driver, King of Comedy, and mostly those 2.
Yeah. Yep. But he's not into... Well, people keep saying he doesn't like comic book movies. That's not what he said. He said he doesn't like Marvel movies. He said Marvel movies are not cinema. And the internet is fucking ripping his head off over it.
I love it. Because, I mean, look, I disagree with him, of course, but I also see where he's coming from.
I love it
when he said...
He clearly did not expect that quote to get as much mileage as it did. He probably just said it offhand.
Yeah, he probably should have expected it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like when Steven Spielberg came out and said that anything on Netflix is not a movie.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to say, obviously. But
he said that the Marvel movies are closer to theme park rides than to cinema.
Yeah. And I mean, I get what he means. He's not trying to say. Yeah, I know.
But he's also never seen one. So actually, I don't think he has the right to say that.
Well, he said he tried, but I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean you tried?
Yeah, I couldn't get tickets.
Yeah, my DVD player wasn't working. I assume that's how he talks.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It.
Yeah, so everyone's real mad at him. I don't think he gives a shit. Why would he?
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't. He does not. He's got a movie coming out that everyone's going to watch. Yeah, and it looks pretty good. So, I mean, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah. I guess he's just a DC fan. So.
Someone has to be.
Well, I noticed the letters D or C didn't fucking even come on screen during Joker, let alone a logo.
The titles were... I mean, we're talking about Joker again, but the titles were so whimsical.
So 70s.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a retro movie. Did anyone else not know that?
I didn't know that going in.
No.
I didn't know. I was like, holy shit, this is period. That's great.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought it was 70s, but I've since been corrected. It was 1981, and you can tell by the names of the films that are on marquees anytime anyone's standing outside of cinema.
Zorro the Gay Blade.
Have you seen that? Have you seen Zorro the Gay Blade?
No, okay. I've heard of it.
It's a real movie. It stars is it Richard Hamilton? It's about Zorro, the real Zorro, breaks his fucking leg, and then his gay brother takes over being Zorro, and he's really flamboyant. And when I was a kid, I loved Zorro. I just thought Zorro was the best. And I taped this movie off the TV, and I used to watch it to the 20-minute mark and then turn it off. Because even as a kid, I was like, none of that. None of that for me.
Not in Penrith.
Yeah.
Someone might look in the window and I'll get bashed.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, I mean, I don't know if the listeners care, but there was a fucking shootout in the street in Penrith 2 nights ago.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I saw that. Fucking hell.
And someone started shooting into the police station.
This gym nut basically was upset that his girlfriend, ex, was pregnant and wanted to get rid of the baby, and then just went nuts and shot up 2 police stations.
Yeah, see, first he went to St. Mary's, shot up that station with no consequences, then got into his car, drove to Penrith, shot into the police station, and then they shot him dead.
What?
And the whole
because
thing
his
got
wife
filmed.
Was pregnant?
No, his
girlfriend.
He did not want her to have a baby. This whole thing where he even paid. That's how I would deal with basically,
that as well.
Yeah, same. But also, she was like, "Don't be so angry. It's not even yours."
But the thing, what he did was it's what's called as suicide by cop.
Yeah, sure. But that's, I mean, she's still having the baby. So
evidently he hired someone who was meant to sort of kick her and make her lose the baby. And really messed up.
Jesus.
Good Lord. Fucking hell. All right. Well, that's where we grew up. So
Yes, it is. And we've, I've since had people say to me, it's not like it used to be, Dan. It sounds like it fucking is. That's exactly the shit that used to go on.
I don't remember that happening when I was a kid.
No,
even though
if anything, it's gotten slightly worse. I do remember Styler getting fucking stabbed 3 times in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got bashed.
I've been bashed.
For no real reason. So, I mean, it wasn't my
I
favorite.
got bashed, I assume, for wearing a white shirt on a Thursday.
I had gigs stopped because people brought knives and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, Nancy Vandal show was cancelled because of that.
But I guess this guy he probably just went and saw Joker, and then that's why.
Yeah. Before we move on from people saying things on the internet that are funny,
sure.
And also tying this back into what's the name of our segment where we talk about court cases?
Bizarre court cases. I've never seen Harvey Birdman. Hopefully this'll do.
Because I'd like to talk about a Russian man who's suing Apple for turning him gay.
Yep. Okay.
I did.
Did you guys see this? So this is a man in Russia. Okay, so a man in Russia was on his iPhone once, and he got an alert. I don't know. Okay, so he had a cryptocurrency app, so I guess he was getting on board the cryptocurrency bandwagon, and he got an alert from a cryptocurrency called Gaycoin, right?
Right.
Which is not a particularly valuable cryptocurrency. In fact, it's worth 0.02 of a cent. And he got an alert saying that he should check it out, along with the caption, "Don't judge without trying."
Right.
Okay. So, this is in the plaintiff's own words. Quote, "I thought, indeed, how can I judge something without trying it? And decided to try same-sex relationships."
Now he loves it and has a partner.
Right.
So he continues,
So
"I can say after the passage of 2 months that I'm mired in intimacy with a member of my own sex. I have a steady boyfriend, and I don't know how I'm going to explain this to my parents. After receiving the aforementioned messages, my life has changed for the worst, and I'll never be normal again." So he is gay and loving it.
Sounds pretty good to me. What's the fucking problem?
But he is suing Apple because he said that if he didn't get that alert, he wouldn't be gay and
I'm
loving
happier
it.
than I've ever been. I can't believe it.
He is the rock that my life is now built on.
It is the worst.
Now, it may sound crazy, but Apple or
he's in
the
Russia.
app people made the app, they may get in trouble. There's a law in Moscow that you can't do anything to promote homosexuality to like young people or anything.
Yeah.
So that's they
you
could get in trouble for that.
There's I believe that the "don't judge without trying" was "don't judge gay coin without trying," not "don't fuck a man." But
But yeah, I just love it. Like,
Yeah,
so we'll see how this goes.
I know it's not good for people over there in that situation. But hey, can't he just leave Russia? I don't know. Maybe it's not that easy.
Well, he doesn't have the money to leave Russia, so this is why he's
even
suing
leaving
Apple.
Russia, it doesn't.
Buy a bunch
It's
of
still
gay
like, even having to tell his parents still. Like that's
Yeah.
Well, read the article, Mum and Dad.
I'd probably know about it
It's
about
in the
now.
news now. Yeah, I mean,
Because they listen to this show.
yeah, we got a lot of Russian listeners. He's seeking 1 million ruble in damages.
Yeah, it's not that much.
And hopefully he can use that money if he gets it to go somewhere where he's not discriminated against.
It's about 20 grand. So yeah, it will get him somewhere, but it won't necessarily set him up for life. But, he does have a beautiful husband now.
Which that's one thing I do like when people try and sue people, but not for a stupid amount.
Well, that's why recently somebody was embezzling money from a company here in Singapore, and they got away with $17,000. And I'm like, not fucking worth it. If I'm going to steal, I'm going to steal millions.
Basically,
Like, or
you need to
nothing.
steal
that's
enough
right.
that you're set up for the rest of your life.
He got caught too early.
Exactly. Yeah, I need to steal enough money that I can get a new identity.
Move
in
to some
Mexico.
country that doesn't have an extra. Can't send me back.
Yeah.
And I never have to work. Yeah, it's. You hear these stories all the time where
Go big
people
or
steal,
go
like
home.
even like people who stole $1 million. It's not worth it.
Mm.
Mate, $1 million can't even buy you a house in Western Sydney now.
What was
and you'll
there
still
was an
get shot
article
by the police.
recently. This guy did. What was he doing? Someone stole like hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they got caught because they just kept going. I'm like, after 100 million.
What are you doing?
You stop and you
Quit
leave.
while you're ahead. Yeah.
Like, you don't need more than that. No one needs more than that. No one needs $100 million.
Matt, have you never watched a fucking heist movie? You
No,
always
I know.
get done in on your last job. It's as soon as you say the words, "This will be my last big job," and then I'm out, you're going to get caught or killed. That's it. You're dead.
I'm 3 days from retirement.
Yeah. Never say that. Never, ever say that. You know who did say that and regretted it? Fucking Sid Haig.
Oh, God.
He was 3 days for retirement.
Was he?
Now he's dead of AIDS.
Well, I mean, he finished 3 from Hell.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's latest film.
I'm not entirely sure if that looks any good or not, but I'm certainly going to see it.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I haven't been able to see it yet because it's not in that many theaters.
No.
But, Sid Haig, he died. He fell over, apparently, and then got a lung infection because he threw up in his sleep and inhaled some of it, and then he died.
None of that makes any sense.
Fucking hell. What a bizarre way to die. What a bizarre and horrible
No, that is what pneumonia is, right? It's a lung infection.
Right.
So,
but it all happened because I'm not quite sure what the specifics are, but it started because he fell over at home and was in hospital.
Vomiting.
Right. So, 80 years old, he's died. And if you don't know who that is, that's Captain Spaulding from Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects.
Do I know him in anything?
From Hell film. And he's been in... when he was younger, he was in all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. We didn't look quite as creepy.
Star Trek, the 60s Batman, Get Smart, he was
Who
in.
did he play in Batman? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, take back that he never used to look as creepy. No, he plays King Tut's little offsider.
King Tut.
No, Bookworm was Roddy McDowall, Matt.
Oh, that's right.
Roddy
Yeah, you're
McDowall
right. I knew
in
that.
a book costume.
What a terrible show. I got to watch that again. The 60s Batman.
I
movie.
started to. It's certainly fun, but you can only watch a couple. It certainly doesn't sustain 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, there's a mashup online of all of the window cameos of when Batman and Robin were walking up walls. There's always someone who stuck their head out. And they start off pretty good. Like, Sammy Davis Jr. sticks his head out at one point and it's like, "Oh, hey, Batman." Right. And they're like, "Oh, hey, Sammy Davis Jr., what you doing?" He's like, "I'm just having a jam. You want to join me?" He's like, "Sorry, but we're looking for the Riddler." He's like, "Okay, cool." And that's it. And they move on. But by the 3rd series, it's like, "Oh, look, it's the host of The Price is Right." He's like, "Yes, and make sure you tune in every weeknight at 4:30.
Maybe I'll just watch the movie. The Batman, but it was the shark repellent.
That's all you need.
Movie.
Yeah.
I watched something this week. I did not I've not finished it quite yet, and I actually didn't put it in the spreadsheet because I forgot. But I've been watching Mindhunter season 2.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, it's good. I love me some David Fincher.
I didn't get into Mindhunter. I only watched the first
Really?
ep, but I found it unsatisfying. But maybe I need. Yeah, a lot of people have told me that they love it, and I should probably give it another go.
It's a lot better than what I've been watching lately.
Oh yeah, what have you been
watching?
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, for
my
fuck's sake.
God! Why?
No, I just like having something on in the background when I'm playing a game.
Go on. Justify this. I heard a rumor that it was not a rumor. Hannah told us that you were laughing at it.
I think
You were laughing at Big Bang Theory.
I think I've maybe laughed like once per season.
You don't need to laugh. They laugh for you.
Yeah, you only know where the jokes are because the laugh track is there.
Yeah.
It really is like that. But yeah, no, it's just because I've been playing some games just to get achievements and get like with walkthroughs and stuff. So I'm just, and that's...
The writers don't even write the jokes. They have writers and then they have joke writers. So the writers lead up to it in the setup and they go, "Oh, wow, this is as bad as..." And then they leave it blank, ... And then the fucking nerd consultant comes in and goes,
"Jar Jar
shot
Binks
first." Yeah.
I think... I'm not sure they do have joke writers. Dun, 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 dun.
No, I'm not saying it's good or I'm enjoying it.
Man. So how much of Big Bang Theory have you watched?
I started at season 3 and I'm up to season 8.
Oh my god,
Fuck
that's
me.
so many hours of it, mate. This
You
is what
started
they
at
the
season
terrorists have won.
You didn't want to know. You didn't want to get in ground
No,
zero. You
it's
just
'cause he's seen them.
I saw
He's
that.
seen them
I saw
already.
like season 1 when it first aired.
yeah.
Like when I was still watching free-to-air television, and so
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they are just so mean to each other. Like we make fun of each other,
Yeah.
but we do it in a nice way. They are just outright mean.
Well, I mean, it's just a TV show.
Documentary, isn't it? Have you got up to the? Because look, I watched the first series when it was on too. I thought it looked interesting, and it wasn't.
I've seen it,
So I stopped.
Yeah, everyone's seen it.
But I've not seen any of the episodes where they've all got wives. But I know that
No.
one of them is played by Mayim Bialik, who was Blossom.
Yes.
Right?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
saw
and
her in it, but I didn't. I don't know where I watched that to. Never. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it consecutively. I just kind of watched it.
No, you weren't tuning in every week.
But
No,
I
it was
loved
just
when
on.
she won an award. It might have been an Emmy or a Golden Globe or something, and it might have even been for Big Bang Theory. I don't know. But the person who gave her the award was the producer of Blossom, so it was a nice little throwback. And he
right.
gets up, and he says, "I'll never forget the day I met Mayim and decided to cast her as Blossom. She came into my office, she shut the door behind her, and she said, 'If you don't give me this part, I'm going to go out there and tell everyone that you raped me.'"
What?
Oh my god!
And it was a joke, obviously, but yeah.
How is that a joke?
It tickled me. It tickled me. Well, it was before. It was when you were used to be allowed to make jokes about that stuff. Now you're not. So.
There's a good joke in. Well, it's not even a joke in Mindhunter season 2. This is not really a spoiler. It's about the Atlanta monster. You know, the kids. This guy, someone was murdering young black kids in Atlanta, and so they're doing these experiments to see if, you know, like in a city, black kids will get in the car with a white guy, just like to see how likely that is to build a profile. And so this one of the FBI guys goes up to these kids and he's like, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going?" And then they're like making fun of him. And then one of them's like, "You a cop?" He's like, "No." And the kid goes, "If you're not a cop, show us your dick." And he looks at his friends and goes, "Cops aren't allowed to show you their dick." Fucking burst out laughing.
It's so true,
good.
though. They're not.
Cops aren't allowed to show you their dick. So good.
They're not. They're not. Because here's the thing. If you're just a regular person, you show your dick to a kid, you're in trouble. If you're a cop and you show your dick to
You're
a
in
kid,
big trouble.
and you try to justify that it was part of your fucking bust.
Yeah. It's just fucking, I wasn't expecting it. So I burst out laughing.
Oh,
Cops aren't allowed to show you their dick.
All right, I'll catch up. Trailer for season 4 of The Expanse is out. You guys seen it?
Oh, I know. I saw it.
I haven't seen
Well, I
it yet.
haven't, because I'm obviously not up to there yet.
It's good. Good. Should watch it. Yeah, New York
will.
Comic Con's on right now. I'm not there, obviously. I'm here.
Yes. And we thank
Lucky
you for that.
us. Perhaps not lucky for you.
You're welcome, though. I do it for the listeners. And also, I wasn't invited.
I'll invite you to it next year.
You know where you are
Thanks,
invited.
After
The after
party.
party.
Mate, you can't keep me out. Try and keep me out.
I mean, we
No,
could.
don't,
We absolutely
don't.
could.
Please don't. I was bluffing. You called my bluff. What do I got to do to get into the after party?
Wouldn't you like to know? Zip.
No, I'll
Go to patreon.com. Oh, I see where you're going with this, Matt. Sorry.
Are you a cop?
Like, he's not a cop, that's why his dick's out.
Patreon.com. $5 a month gets you the show early. $10 a month gets you into the aforementioned after party. You
Oh my
don't wanna
god! So
miss
all I
it.
got to do is go to patreon.com/multiple-nerdgasm and sign up.
Well, no, you got to put some money down, Matt. You don't just go there.
Put in your credit
Gotta
card
make it sound easier than it
details.
is. Yeah. I mean, come on.
All
Nothing's
right.
free in this world. Why is your dick still out?
I told you, I'm not a cop.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.